It's a big one. This is a big one. We got Denon announcing a lot of new products. We have the new Rane 70 mixer, and of course we have Namm coming up tomorrow. Let's talk about that now. This is the news. What's going on, everybody? It is your man Cleveland Terry, and today we're going to be talking about a number of different products, and these are just kind of my first thoughts and reviews, observations of the products that are coming out. So let's just get right into it. It's been a busy week for in music. Denon has released not one, not two, but 3 new products to make you feel all good inside. Let's talk about the first one. This is, of course, no secret. The Denon Prime 4 came out, which I talked about in another video. But of course, as evolution happens, they've released a 2-channel version of their Denon Prime 4, which is the Denon Prime, you guess it, 2. Denon Prime 2. The Denon Prime 4, in my book, was way too expensive to... That's a Freudian slip. The Denon Prime, in my book, was way too large to be able to take out in a mobile environment, and that just turned me off automatically. The Denon Prime 2 is a smaller version of the 4. The size... So Denon has actually shaved off about 4 inches around, 4 inches deep, 4 inches wide off of the Denon 4 versus the Denon 2. So that is a huge difference in size, and I will actually take a much harder look at the product now because of that. It was just too big to be a mobile thing in my book. Everybody's different. That's just the way I am. So now we have the SC6000 and the SC6000M. M obviously stands for motorized platters. Now these are fantastic devices. It's got the Prime software built right into each deck, so it makes it really easy for you to actually DJ with only one controller. The problem is, for a lot of people that aren't necessarily in the market for a full flagship devices, is those things cost $17,000. Well, in actuality it costs $1,700, but I'm not spending $1,700 on just a single product knowing I gotta buy another one and a mixer. So for me, it's a little bit too much for what I do, but they are fantastic products, and they're definitely more for the high-end people, the people that are buying, you know, the CDJs, and they're trying to compete with that. The ST5000M with its motorized platter, I mean, there's really nothing like it on the market. I mean, a standalone platter, no hard drive needed, everything built right in, and the platters are really good. They've made some updates on the platter, so they're not as heavy as they used to be. It's a better feel. For a lot of people, if you're gonna spend the money, that's definitely one that you take a look at, and probably one that I would probably own if I were in the market for CDJ size platters and jog wheels. Because right now, for controller wise, obviously I have my 1000 and it gives me all I need for that. I use my turntables for everything else, but if I were in the market, I would definitely take a look at that. And now, my favorite newly released product from Denon that I am gonna take a serious look at when I'm at Namm is the Denon Prime Go. The Denon Prime Go is a very unique product to a certain extent. I know a lot of people are gonna say, and I'm gonna say it myself, it seems to be a direct response, and obviously it's not necessarily a direct response. I didn't build this thing because I saw another product, but they were both in line trying to cater to the same market. And that is the Roland 707M, a very compact yet powerful, smaller controller that can be used in any type of environment and give you pretty much everything you need while it can fit in, you know, a large backpack. Roland came out with their 707, and I thought that's an amazing product. And if I were to go something with that small size jog wheels, I would definitely pick up the Roland 707. It has a whole bunch of things built in, the feedback reducers, the ability to set EQs with specific venues and then save those into your system so you don't have to retweak every time you hit a venue. Those are some really cool features. The back end being able to have, you know, multiple outs, the multiple in for the instruments. There's a lot of little things on that 707 that were really cool. But the Denon Prime competes with it, and dare I say, it might actually, well, it's something that I haven't seen before. And what's cool about this product is, just like the Denon Prime 4s and the 2, it is a standalone controller. What separates it from the other ones are, yes, it is smaller, but it does have an all-in-one compact screen right on the face. You can put all of your music in there and take it with you. And the most important part is it's battery powered. And that right there, that's what I would really consider to be an all-in-one. I mean, you don't have to bring your laptop. You can build everything into your controller, and you don't have to be plugged in. You can be mixing in a car. You could be mixing, at a coffee shop when we're working on your set. And that to me, that is a game changer. I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any battery powered controllers on the market. Everything is either USB bus powered or you have to plug it in. So this might be a first. It is a little more expensive than the 707. It costs about $1,000, where the 707 costs about $850. So it's a little more, but I think for what you get, it's the one you may want to buy. And of course, even though it's standalone, they're still going to give you the option of plugging in and using Serato and the device. So you still get the best of both worlds if you are a computer-based guy. If I were on the fence, this is the kind of thing that and it still gives you the wireless capabilities of its bigger brothers. So it gives you all of your streaming services into it, your Spotify, your Tidal, your SoundCloud, all of your beat ports, all of those things are built in. So you can still stream, plus have your music, and you don't need to plug it in. Some people are gonna say, well, of course, you got speakers, you still need to plug those in. But I'm gonna tell you this, knowing that I'm DJing at a place and let's say that circuit breaker goes out, I know that the only thing I have to run power for is the speakers, and the speakers don't need to be reset. Literally, you just plug them into another port and they are on. Unlike with a computer where you might have to restart it and then you have to wait, and your controller, you have to restart it and then you have to wait a little bit. That's not an issue, because when the power goes out, the thing is still running. It's just no sound because the speakers are out. So if you can get yourself some speakers, some portable battery powered speakers, it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that. If you're doing weddings and you're on a beach somewhere and now you're concerned with how am I gonna get power to that beach, that's not an issue. You can go anywhere. Guys, this is a really, really cool device. I am seriously gonna take a look at that when I'm at Namm, and I will give you my hands on while I am there. Nobody called me to go to Miami to check the Denon product, so I'm here. Okay, so everybody knows that the flagship model for Rane was the Rane 72. And when the Rane 72 came out, I actually took a look at it. And for a moment, I considered moving over from the S9, but the Rane 72 did not give me anything besides the separate pad controls, which the S9 does not do. That was the only thing that it really did. The screen, I didn't really care about because it wasn't a standalone system, so you still needed a computer. So why do I need a computer and a screen that's giving me all the computer information? So it was very, very redundant. Didn't feel a use for it. So I just said, skip it. I'll stick with my S9. A lot of people had issues with the 72. The screen in the beginning was having major issues with reliability, so they had to come out with several updates to fix that. So for a lot of the new people that came on, the new adopters, they were dealt a product that wasn't as good as it should have been from the onset. That kind of gave them a little bit of a bad name. They've rectified all those situations, so that's not an issue anymore, but that was a thing. And a lot of people who were looking or waiting for that mixer, when that came out and when all the issues came out, people were like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy an S9 or I'm just gonna buy a reloop and just call it a day. So a lot of people weren't thinking about that. And I think Rane felt it, because Rane has come out with the Rane 70 mixer, and it is in direct competition of the 72. People keep calling it a streamlined 72. I don't agree. I think it's an upgraded 62. I think it took all the best parts of the 62, because people love the 62. It was a great mixer. The only issue I had with the 62 was I wanted some larger pads, and that was pretty much it. Maybe some switchables like the S9. And that's what you see here, because it looks completely like a 62. Just the layout swapped out a little bit, but it's still giving you all those things you came to love about the 62. And then it added back some things that there were some oversights with the 72. For instance, not having the secondary RCA, and then when phase came on board, well, there was no way to switch. So you can't use your phases and turntables, so that was an oversight. And so they've corrected that with the Rane 70. It is a steroid-induced Rane 62. It looks like a great mixer. They've also upgraded the faders across the board on there, so hopefully we're not going to see the same issues that we saw with the 72. It's going to be a good mixer, especially considering it's fixed a lot of those issues, and it's cheaper. I mean, I think it's about $400 cheaper from the 72. So it's right in line with that Pioneer S9, which is the top selling mixer, on the market. So I think this is gonna be heavy competition, and it was a good idea for Rane to come out with this product. I don't think it's a little too late, because I think people are always looking for new mixers, and the S9, as good as it is getting a little long in the tooth, and I've been seriously looking for different mixers because of the fact that I can't change the pads. That's the biggest deal for me. For some people, it's not a big deal, but if I'm working on cues here and then I want to do a loop here, it's all or nothing. Either they all have to be looped or they all have to be cues or whatever you're using, and I'm just done with that. Look, there's nothing wrong with the 72. The 72 is a great product, but the cost definitely went into those screens. That screen is what's raising that price and putting it over the top for a lot of people that were looking at mixers. $1,400, $1,500, that's like the average price for a flagship mixer. You're gonna get really good quality for that. So when a mixer comes out at $17.99, you're like, hey, well, does it do everything that I want it to do? In my mind, there was a huge oversight with Rane and Serato with this mixer. Because when that mixer came out with the Rane 12s and with this mixer, with the screens, they had an opportunity at that point. They had an opportunity to finally release a standalone system without the computer. Rane and Rane and Serato should have found a way to put Serato into the hardware, and I think that mixer would have flown off the shelves. Knowing that you have the option of using your computer or using it standalone, you have USB ports in the back, you could have made it thumb drives. You didn't even have to go full on hard drive. You could have gone thumb drives right out the back. There's a huge opportunity missed with that one, and if I were in Rane and Serato's boat right now, I'd be kicking myself every day. You can see with Record Box, and now the Denon's all-in-ones that have the software built in. That's kind of where the market is going. And Serato had an opportunity to be ahead of the game, or at least on the same playing field. All of those all-in-ones start to become better software-wise. People are gonna slowly start to move away from their computers, which means they don't need Serato anymore. Rane and Serato, if you're listening to me, it's time. It's time. Take that 72 and turn that into a laptop-less mixer, which falls into what I want to see at Namm tomorrow when I go. Now, Namm is supposed to be the time when you release all your products, so InMusic releasing it a couple of days before, I guess they couldn't wait. They needed to get that stuff out there, and more power to them. But for a lot of other people, they will wait to release their product, and you'll start to see announcements tomorrow and then Friday and then Saturday of all these new releases. But Namm is the place to go to see what all the new stuff is going to be for 20 and maybe even 2021. So what I would love to see, if I were in charge of some of these product companies, what I would love to see is, well, with Pioneer, I need to see a new S9. I need to see an S10. I definitely need to see an S10. It's time. The S9 has been on the market for a long time. It's as good as it is. It has some weak points that a lot of other companies are finally addressing. So the S10 needs to come out. And the S10 doesn't even have to do much. I need to have dedicated separate control pads. I need some higher quality RCAs on the back, across the board on the back. I've had to have mine serviced way too much. The faders have always been good to me. Even to this day, I've never had an issue with that fader. So I have no problem with the fader, but just fix that. If you want to come up with some bells and whistles, I mean, at this point, the way you're releasing products, make it Serato record box enabled right off the bat. And if you were really, really thinking about things, I would make a true motorized platter, like a PLX CDJ. Maybe make the jogs a little larger, kind of like the Denons, and put the screens right in there. Give it some USBs, so you don't need your computer. You can use it right through record box. That's what I would do. It would be easier and more cost effective to definitely put it in the mixer only, but that's not how Pioneer works. So put them into, you can have some small displays right at the top of the turntables instead of putting it right in the middle of a jog wheel like the DDJ 1000s. Put the controls right up front so you can still see those, and build that bitch right into the software so we don't need to bring computers anymore. That's what I would do. I think that's where the future is, and Pioneer needs to be ahead of it. Now that they've released the DDJ 800, I wouldn't be shocked if I saw a DDJ 1100 with USB ports on it. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw that. Maybe they will make one of those strictly for record box, which is definitely something that they have been known to do. Namm for me is about new products. It's also about networking, seeing a lot of companies that maybe get pushed down by all the loud talk of like all of these larger companies. Like, for instance, let's say you were looking at a lighting company for your DJ needs, and you hear Chevy and American DJ, and that's all you ever hear because they're the only ones that are ever screaming, hey, look at us. But then you go to Namm, and there are dozens of lighting companies out there that are offering really, really good products that are maybe a little bit more affordable, or maybe they're just better made, better quality. So it's a time to be able to see other companies, a lot of companies that are smaller that are trying to get their leg in the door. You can negotiate deals, you can work things out and get in there early before they turn into something big. But it's really, for me, it's about networking. It's about seeing you people that are going to be there, talking to you guys, talking to the manufacturers, trying to get a better position for what I do for you. And, being able to get those products a little earlier so I can be on the same, floor as like the Mojaxes and the Crossfaders and the, DJ Tech Tips. All of these people have connections and relationships. And for me, that's what this is about. It's about building relationships. And I can't wait to see you guys at Namm. If you're there, stop by, come say hello to me. Let's take a picture, whatever. And, I'm actually only going to be there tomorrow, which is Thursday, because I have to be in Texas for another thing I got going on. So I'm going to be hitting everything all day long. You may see me, I might be running around because I got to hit as much as possible in the one day that I'm going to be there. And I will also be at the BPM Supreme show. So if you're there, come say hi, buy me a drink. Kidding. No, I'm not really kidding. Buy me a drink. All right, guys, if you found what I said here useful, hit that like button. If you found what I said here really useful, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if any of these products you're interested in and what you're going to be doing for the 2020 year. All right, guys, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.